It's Off Exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
I'm somewhere in between like being a tech guy, but not really being a tech guy.
I'm not even close.
No, you kind of get forced to being a tech guy, but
I mean,
I let the kids at school do all my stuff on my phone, computer. Hey, come and give me a hand.
I try.
every kid has like a laptop now, right?
Every kid's got everything. They have everything.
That's wild. It's crazy.
Dude, it's like when we were growing up, I mean, we going? Oh, yeah, Sam. Let's
good,
go.
Sam.
All right.
How you look over
Let's
there.
go. No, Gerald, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Of course.
man.
Of course.
It's,
God.
I like when our Chatham connections kind of reunite in like different places and through different people.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I know.
It's like here in the gym, I don't know, we get our first few LaSalle kids, and then it took years for somehow they're like, you know Coach Wash? I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, Coach Wash was one of my first coaches. Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember when we were in here talking to one of the kids, and he was he had mentioned to you about it, and then I came in later that day, or like the next day, and saw him, and he was like, "Heard you know Coach Wash," and I was like, "Oh, wait, you know Coach Washington? He's still there?" I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see that connection between like kids that we get in here,
Right.
and like somebody that we grew up with. You know?
I know.
So it's really cool.
I tell the story all the time. Mike was my first quarterback.
There he is.
My first quarterback. I remember that. Everybody said, "Oh, he's too short." I'm like, "No, that's my quarterback."
Listen, man, I love playing football. That's one of my regrets in high school is not continuing to play.
Yeah.
I feel like I let you down.
No, you didn't let me down. You just chose a different path. That's all it was. You know what I mean? You chose
Listen,
a different path.
You look ahead and you got the big Zach Cram and Parker Niles slinging it. And it's like, man, it's a tough path to go through.
He might be a little disappointed in how you can throw a football now.
Oh, if you saw me now, you would not say that's my quarterback.
Hey, I tell my kids all the time. They'll say, "Coach Wash, I suck." I said, "No, it's your technique. You don't suck. You're an awesome individual. Your technique. So you got to work on technique." You know what I mean? And that's what the difference between good athletes, great athletes, super great athletes, technique.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
When did you get into coaching?
So I started coaching with my own kids, Garrett especially, because out in Elizabeth, Colorado. And, my own kids. But I've always coached, no matter what town I went to. I went from Texas to Colorado. And I lived in a country town, had a ranch, raising horses. But they found out that I used to play football and track. And then they said, "Oh, you want to coach?" So my first really football team I coached was an 8-man team in Kiowa, Colorado. And then I coached girls basketball. Then I coached boys basketball. And I just developed, kept moving on, One door closes, another door opens,
What's an 8-man team? What do you do with an 8-man team? They just had 8 guys.
Yeah.
8 guys, not 11.
You gotta be fast.
8, yeah. You got to be fast. But, it's like everything's all relative, how good of athletes you have. And actually, more importantly, it's not about how good of athletes, but how you use them to their strengths. See, a lot of coaches nowadays don't get it. They think you got to have the biggest kids out there, the fastest kids. But if you coach a kid to his talent and what he's good at and don't set him up to fail, you can have success.
Well, the analytics now are crazy, though. I feel like that takes over. You're looking at all the numbers, this and that, and then people miss the actual cohesion of a team.
That's right. That's exactly right, because they think it's all about stats and statistics. But everything comes back to the basics, and it comes back to technique. There's only one right way to do anything, one right way. All the techniques are the same. If you look back 40 years, the techniques are exactly the same. The athletes get bigger, faster, stronger because of the technology. That's what you guys do, make boys into men, bigger, faster, stronger. But the technique, you still got to have the technique. If you don't have the technique, it doesn't matter. You can be 300 40 pounds and say, I'm going to Michigan, but you don't have good feet, you're not going to make the team.
No.
You know what I mean? Got it. Technique's everything.
Yeah. It's big. What's your background's in football, right?
My background's football and track. Yeah. You know, I was fortunate enough to be in the practice squad for the Seattle Seahawks. And I won't say I was an All-American track, but back in the day I ran a 47-400. I ran a 9-500 meters.
That's not slow.
You know.
It's not slow at all.
So, or 100 yards, not 100 meters, 100 yards.
That's speedy.
9-5.
Did you play both of those in college?
Yeah. In college, I went to HBC, Hampton, Historical Black College, right? So I was on the football team, the basketball team, the track team, the golf team, the tennis team. So
you were doing it all there because I'm sure just how many athletes they had there.
And back a lot of African Americans didn't golf, but I knew how to golf. So whether I was good or not, I was on the golf team.
Golf's the hardest sport, man. I had a wedding in a couple weeks, and I got invited to play with the groom like the day before the wedding and all his friends. And I don't know any of those guys, and this is going to be their first impression of me is on the first hole teeing off. I'm terrified, man.
So do you play at all?
I go through phases in my life.
Okay.
Like when we lived in Boston, I got into it a little bit. Dave tried to get me into it when I was young. And you know how it is when your parents tell you something.
Yeah, of course.
Like, okay,
I feel like I remember us going a couple times, like when we were younger.
Oh, we hit up like the meadow greens.
The meadow greens, I remember us going a few times.
It's just a challenging sport.
It's such a mental game. It's so much more mental. Because if you get out of your, but that's any sport. If you get out of your mental game, you're going to be out of your physical game.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Golf is all on you. So like you could be playing another team sport and something doesn't go the team's way, but maybe it's not your fault per se. But in golf, it's just you. It's literally if I hit that ball and it slices right like it does every single time. That's on me. It's not on anybody else. And it's frustrating because you're like, I just want to get better. I just want to be able to hit the ball in the hole. That's all I want to do.
All comes back to technique.
Yes, sir.
Not how strong you are, not how big swings you. Little things, little successes. You know, doing it right. You know,
golf's crazy now. Do you follow professional golf?
Absolutely. That's really the only thing I watch on TV is golf. Because I play golf all the time. That's my sport.
What do you think of the live golf now and then the PGA? Like I know what's going on, but not fully.
Well, I don't know if anybody knows what's fully going on, but. You know, it's like our society. Everybody wants to control everything, and they want to be the only ones. Not knocking the PGA Tour, but this other opportunity came along with the Live Tour. They offered a lot more money. So, look, what do? We go for the money.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know if it's bad, good. I don't really have an opinion because I don't have enough information to make an opinion, you know. So, but I'm happy for the guys that are getting paid.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure. I mean, the PGA's had a monopoly on golf for forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Look out average payouts for Live. It's outrageous.
Oh, it's outrageous.
It's crazy.
And then you probably compare that to like what a last place payout is on Live versus like an average PGA payout, a PGA Tour payout.
Well, and that's feature 25.
Who do you like to watch? What guys?
Well, you know what? Of course, I'm a Tiger fan. Absolutely.
Love Tiger.
I'm a Tiger fan, but I love Justin Thomas. Tony Finau. You know, those are, Xander Schauffele's. I love that guy. You know what I mean? Cameron Smith. So I like a lot of young guys, but Tiger's the GOAT.
Tiger and his whole story is just wild. What's the payouts, Paul?
You could finish 48th and make $120,000.
Yeah.
And then obviously with first it's $4 million, and it says something on average. All 8 live golf events feature a $25 million purse, which is $7.5 million more than the largest purse offered on the PGA.
How can you pass that up?
You can't.
No.
You can't.
And I mean,
but now, Tiger passed it up. Why? Because Tiger has more money than God.
He has endorsement money, right.
Right, and tradition, and he wants to preserve the legacy of the PGA. Okay, good for you, Tiger.
Right.
I think that's great. But DJ left, Phil left. I mean, I'm like, wow. Phil was the poster child for the PGA. And when he left, I was like, wow. Okay.
And didn't Brooks Koepka left too?
Yeah, Brooks left.
Koepka's a beast, man.
Yeah.
And then did DeChambeau leave too?
I think Bryson did.
Yeah, right? He left before I think Koepka left too.
I think so.
I just know those two have a rivalry. That's
Yeah,
why,
yes,
you
they
know,
do. They have a rivalry.
It's fun though. It makes it fun.
Yeah.
Like, and it brings more entertainment to the sport. It's, you know, Phil and Tiger had that rivalry.
Right,
Growing
right,
up. I
they
mean,
did.
Tiger won more times than not, but it was
Yeah.
still a rivalry.
Still a rivalry. Yeah,
So it brings that entertainment value to golf.
it does.
It makes it much more exciting. My stepdad watches golf like religiously. My mom watches it now even more than she
Oh,
ever
really?
used to. Yeah, because he watches it so much. So I get quite a bit of a breakdown of the golf world more than I've ever gotten in my life. You know, other than watching Tiger Woods play.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. You know.
When-
Now, I don't think he's gonna break Jack's record because I think that's, you know, he was the closest. He almost got
How
there.
many away is he?
Oh, I think he's three or
Three?
four away.
I think it's three, something like that.
Something
Three
like
to
that.
tie, I think 4 to pass, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
But he's like, whenever you think he's done, whether it was
Yeah.
like the scandal years ago and then the car accident, and
Yeah.
it's like he comes
He
back.
comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's perseverance and
yeah, and you got to get physically fit.
yeah.
Right.
You know, which
But
is
isn't he a guy? I remember reading an article years ago where he was just like, I mean, you can see it in his life. He seems like a very extreme dude. I think he took his training that way. Like
Yeah.
he trained like
Yeah.
a power lifter and like real intense. and-
absolutely.
Part of the reason why he has the back issues was his violent swing, but then probably
Yeah.
part of the way he was working out.
Yeah,
You know, but he was the first golfer
to work
to
out,
really
Right,
work
to
out.
really
Yes.
work out.
Yeah.
Think about that.
You know, John Daly, you know, shout out John Daly throwing out that first pitch yesterday, absolute laser. But he was, you know, very round. You know, lots of beers.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey.
but he was good. He was a good golfer.
Whatever
you know,
works for you.
But it worked for him. But you know, that was your typical golfer. Was like somebody that wasn't necessarily in like peak physical condition.
Right.
And
And
then
wasn't
Tiger
necessarily
Woods
an
come-
athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tiger Woods comes in and it's like, oh, this guy's got biceps and
Right.
filling out his shirt like in the right ways, not the
Uh-huh.
wrong ways.
That's
you know?
right. That's
So
right. That's right.
It was cool to see that, and now you see all the guys do it. You know, every guy's working out.
Everybody's working
Yeah,
out.
those rotational sports are different though. Like you see it in baseball too. There's not like one body type to get the job done.
Right.
You got Phil and you got Dustin Johnson and you got like Rory McIlroy back in the day.
That's right.
They all
That's right.
just are explosive and can rotate. Where like football, like you see a body type and you're like, okay, this guy's probably a linebacker. This
Yeah.
guy's probably a running back.
Yeah,
Yeah. When were you with Seattle? So when was
79. 79. Steve Largent,
I was gonna say
Jim Zorn.
Yeah, I was trying
that
to
was
think.
that was like the
Yeah,
those were some
Benny-
good years.
Well,
for
it
them.
started in 76.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Through them 79.
it was interesting today. We have a client in here. I was talking football with him, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and he said that he was, and we were just chopping up different stuff about this year and past, and he was telling me that he, you know, was alive to remember when the Cowboys started in 1960. So he's been
wow.
a fan since literally the Cowboys started, and I
Wow.
was like, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've seen every single person play for the Cowboys, so you know, as far as history goes and reputation, it's like you know all the glory days, plus you know all of the not so glory days.
Yeah,
you
sure,
know? It's
sure.
really cool it was really cool to have that conversation with him about that. I was like, wow, that's pretty wild to think about. You know, so
Good.
but the Seahawks you said started in '76. You were there in '79, right?
Did you think in college like you would have the opportunity after? How did that come about?
Okay, so I went on a co-op program in Walla Walla, Washington.
What a name.
Yeah.
Walla Walla, Washington, right? And I was working at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on like a program, work study program. And so I went to this place called the Stakeout, which is a restaurant, country western place. I thought it was country western anyway. I was watching this guy DJ at night. Name was Bruce. I forget his last name. So he was leaving, going back to college. And I said, hey, well, shoot, I can do that. So, the famous rap song was Rapper's Delight, right? So I'd get up and spit on the mic a little bit. Then I started working there when he left on the weekends. So the owner, his name was Bob Luce, and his son Mark was the manager. So one day, he said, well, Gerald, you're a football player, and you're real fast, and you work out all the time, My Uncle Jack's the coach of the Seahawks. Really? Oh, okay. So he shamed his mother into flying us to fishing camp in little town in Idaho so they could shame Uncle Jack to giving me a trial.
Hey,
And, that's how that went. Went from mini camp to little mini camp, till Eastern Washington State University, Cheney. where the main camp was, and then I'm on the practice squad, just like that, So that's my biggest thing. No big deal, but it was to a bunch of little kids, and it was to my family.
Listen,
what I mean?
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Not many people get that
Not many
opportunity.
people get that opportunity.
Yeah.
How long were you with them? On
1 year.
Just 1 year. Okay.
And
Great
my
experience, though.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great experience. But my father says, all right, well, this is playtime's over. You're going back to college. Yeah, no. I said, but Dad. No, Dad, nothing. My father wasn't hearing that.
Yeah.
So I went back to college, graduated, went to Houston, worked for Gulf Oil. Then the USFL came in.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so I played 2 years with them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And they're back now too, right? The USFL came
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
So
they're back.
because I remember watching, I was flipping through and they were on like Fox Sports 1, and I was like, "There's football on," and I stopped because it was football. So I watched it.
It's a little weird, football in the summertime.
Yeah, it's
a little weird.
It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't give me that same like feeling for it. So I was like, I watched it a little bit, and then I think I flipped over to like a Yankee game or something else and whatnot. But it's cool to more opportunity for players, and then gives them the chance to maybe show out. Like there's a guy on the Cowboys that made the roster for the special teams because he got signed from the USFL.
Yeah.
And then had a kick return and punt return for a touchdown in the same game, and now he's their kick returner.
Well,
so
what?
it's cool that other opportunities are being presented for players to be able to make it in the NFL.
A lot of guys came from the USFL. Herschel Walker came from the USFL. Steve Young came from the USFL. Clarence Ferdinand went to Washington. He played with me down there. Ricky Sanders played with me in Houston.
Yep.
He went to New England. So a lot of guys come from the USFL.
Yeah. So it's just more opportunity for players to, get their name out there.
Sure.
Maybe, and also went to maybe an FCS school or a Division II school or a Division III school and matured later, and now they're much more mature and their body developed better. So now they're just a late bloomer. We see it in baseball all the time.
Well, there's no farm league for NFL. It's like college.
That's right.
College
to league,
is
right?
the farm league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It doesn't matter. Division II, Division III, they'll find you.
Yeah.
They'll find you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you tell that to kids now when
Absolutely.
you're talking to them? Because that's a big thing that we preach in here.
Yeah.
See, a lot of kids you deal with, I'm going to be D1. I'm going to be D1. I'm like, look, guys, honestly, D1 doesn't care about you getting an education. They care about your particular sport. But you can throw a bunch of, people up against the wall, and whatever sticks is going to stick. So get your education. My own kids, I told them, no, you're going D3. That's why they went to the Merchant Marine Academy. Garrett was about your size. He's 5'8". He's jacked. He could catch. I told him, I said, you'd be Wes Welker. But go to D3, get an education. Tyler was big and fast and strong. Tyler was Defensive Player of the Year, Section 2.
Yeah.
But I'm like, go to Merchant Marine Academy. You can play, have a good time, get an education, because that's what counts.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it is. That's what counts, because 1 in a million go to the NFL.
Right.
So it's a pipe dream. I mean, but it's a dream.
Right.
I don't want any kid to give up on their dream, but you got to have realistic expectations. And most, I'm going to say parents.
Right.
I don't want to pick on parents, but I'm a parent, so a lot of parents, they push their kids too much. And I think all kids should play a variety of sports, because you don't know what you're going to be good at. But unless you try it, you know what I mean? You could may be a baseball player, but you excel in football or golf or tennis, whatever, Some kids out there and the parents are, he's a basketball player. He's 6'5", he's 6'6", he's 6'7". Okay, well, you got a shot. But get an education, because if you don't get that education and your grades, you're never going to get a shot at college. You're never going to get there.
Well, and it helps you get more money too for college.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what level, whatever level you're playing.
But you got to get in college.
Exactly.
If you don't
get
have
in,
the basics, So
it's
knowledge is power. It really is.
It really is.
Knowledge is power.
So what are you doing at LaSalle now? How long have you been at LaSalle for?
Going on my 19th year. And I started out as an assistant football coach with Al Rapp. And when he retired, I coached 2 more years, and then I stopped coaching football. So I was the admissions director for a lot of years, dean of students, and now I'm a phys ed teacher, and I still coach track. And so I coach or I teach 9th and 12th grade, but I'm a track coach. So I want you to build your body, you know. I'm 65. I ain't in bad shape. I can still run the hurdles against some of my kids. Some of my kids. I got to put that in. Some of my kids.
Some of them?
Some of them. I'm good for about 2-3 hurdles. Yeah.
Aren't there? You guys just started taking in females, right?
Yes, we did.
First time in like.
Yeah, this is our 2nd year, and it's been wonderful. I'm telling you, the dynamics is totally different. So, and you know, private education is expensive because when my wife wanted me to call about LaSalle, about sending Garrett there, I was like, really? Back at that time, it was $9,000. Hi, Mr. Gerald Washington. Thinking about sending my son to LaSalle. Oh, okay. What, $9,000? Oh, okay, thank you. Click. And my wife said, they're going. And I'm like, okay. And that's how it was. So I'm glad, because that was great for my boys, you know? Not that I wanted to leave Chatham, because I love Chatham.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was a different path.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was successful path that they learned some new things, new opportunities. You know what I mean?
I think that's it too. Is just different opportunity for them. You
Yeah,
know?
different opportunities.
From Chatham to LaSalle, like there's different opportunities you're going to get in each place.
Sure.
But you know,
Absolutely.
for them, it worked out great for them.
Yeah.
They have been very successful. They obviously went on and had successful college careers
Yeah.
and everything, whether it's education, football, whatever.
Yeah, they did well.
But you know, it works, and it worked for them.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm glad that they were able to get that experience, because you know, not every kid gets that opportunity.
Not
so.
every gets that point.
I like the LaSalle dudes though. I'm
Yeah.
thinking the guys I know.
All of them.
Your boys, Spencer Franks.
Yeah.
Shout out Spencer.
Shout out
Like, we'll
Spencer.
still message online every once in a
Random
while.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randomly, he shoots us a message.
Yeah, Splinter.
Yeah, great. The
Yeah.
Bernardos. like,
Bernardo's,
dude,
man.
just
A lot of great kids. I've had a lot of great kids, including you guys. I mean, from the time I started coaching, I've had a lot of great individuals. And what's important is I think that I made a difference in your life. And I think I still have an impact on kids, because I'm still doing positive things. You know, I have a lot of great sayings. There's no right way to do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Work hard. Hard work beats talent when talent, you know,
I remember
refuse
that.
to work
in-
hard.
yeah.
I remember that in JB's office all the time in high school. Hard work beats talent when talent fails work
That's
hard.
right.
It was
Absolutely.
plastered on his board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
Listen,
the time.
all right, so we talked about in a previous episode our Pop Warner days. I mean, I could vividly remember, right? Like driving to the Ghent rec.
Yeah.
You're in the outfield.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm shitting my pants. I'm about to get lit up for 2 hours. But dude, it was the best, man.
Wasn't it?
I wouldn't take it back for anything.
Wasn't it? Hey, and we were successful.
Yeah.
We had good teams.
We had great teams.
Our second year, we went like 6. We went 1-6. I remember we went like 1-6 or 1-7 the
Those-
first year, and
those
then
were the
6-1
first.
the next year.
Those were the first years of it. I think, right?
Yeah.
When you were on.
Yeah, because I helped start that.
Yeah.
I helped start that league.
Yeah. And
I remember Hail Marys for sprints, and Coach Spud would just throw the ball. So
Oh,
I felt like
Spud.
he threw the ball like 70
God.
yards.
wouldn't Spud just only wear shorts?
Only wore
Yes,
shorts.
only
I think
wore
that's
shorts.
I feel like that's a football coach
Is that a
thing, man.
football thing?
Yeah, I guess. You know,
Because
Spud was something
Coach
else.
Niles only wore shorts.
Yeah,
Coach,
that's
all
right.
of them only wore
Everybody
shorts,
only wore
regardless
shorts.
of what time of year it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was
You know,
like,
I
it
think
is.
that was the style back then, because they had to coach in shorts, you know?
Yeah.
Short as hell, right?
Yeah, they were really short.
Like, coach, like your balls are hanging out right now.
Oh, yeah, that was the style. Oh, my God, Coach Spud.
With the visor.
Oh,
Niles was the visor. man.
Niles was the visor
yeah.
guy.
Oh, my gosh.
We had Bubba and Spud. I remember them.
Bubba,
They were
yeah.
great. They were great.
You know what was crazy about that too? You had to weigh in before games. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
a story
yeah.
about that.
You
Yeah.
missed what you
You
missed.
had to weigh in.
You missed weighing, Paul?
I had to like strip down. Like it was because you had to make weigh-in, and it was for the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I had to literally I started off. I had like shorts and a t-shirt on. Then I had shorts on. Then I had my boxers on. And then they were like,
Birthday
all right.
suit.
They're like, go to the bathroom quick. And then I came back and I ended up making weight by 0.1 pounds. And I'm glad because they went away from that now, right? They don't do the weigh-ins anymore. I'm glad they went away from that
I don't think
because
so.
that's can definitely be a mental game for the kids. you
Oh,
know?
yeah. Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean that you can't play with them. You're just a bigger kid.
No,
Like,
well, they wanted to keep everything on a level playing field, everything fair.
Yeah.
And the body weight. You didn't want anybody getting hurt.
Right.
Right.
And I get that.
Yeah, I mean, you just think though, just the knowledge and awareness now. I mean, even then, so we're talking, what years are we talking now?
This would
2000?
have been 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
Probably.
2000, 2001.
Yeah, 2001, yeah.
There was no awareness on concussions then, or am I wrong?
No.
None.
Very little.
I mean,
Very
through
low.
your whole
That's
career, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the biggest change in the sport.
It is. It is. Absolutely. Which is change for the good.
Correct.
Change for the good, Because now if you get 3 concussions, you're done. You can't play anymore.
Right. And it's interesting because I think it might have been in here, but I know with my roommate we brought up how you don't see these post-career tragedies, I want to say,
Right.
with baseball players,
Right.
with basketball players.
Oh, yeah.
You only really see it with football players or boxers or MMA fighters or somebody like that who's experienced severe head trauma.
Yeah.
And I saw something the other day, and it was, do you remember Chris Benoit, the wrestler? He
Yeah.
committed,
Yeah.
it was murder-suicide.
Right.
Did
right.
his family
Chris
and himself.
Benoit.
But the scans came back, and this was early 2000s, came back that he had the brain of like an 85-year-old, like severe CTE.
Just think about Junior Seau, Steve McNair.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's more probably.
There's definitely
I just
Junior
those two
Seau.
Aaron
come to mind.
Hernandez.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, he was a little crazy before that.
Dude,
But,
yeah, never. I mean, he was like, don't put that on CTE. That
Right.
fucking guy.
yeah, but
We were living in Boston then. And like
Oh.
there was double shootings at like places
That's
bars
crazy.
we would go to, and it's like fucking wild.
that's
man.
wild to think about.
Everybody's a product of their environment.
Yeah.
We all are.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
You
are.
know what I mean? So, I grew up in a little town called Sydney. You guys grew up in a nice little town called Chatham.
Where Sydney? What state did you grow up
In New York. It's
You were in
right
New York?
between Binghamton and Oneonta.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
where I
so
went
Western
down.
New York.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, right down 88.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
a nice, quiet town. Everybody, I'm playing golf with my high school classmates Sunday. They're all coming up here. We're gonna
That's
play
a
golf.
big benefit of a small town.
It is.
It is. It really is.
It is. I say this all the time. Wherever we were at dinner time, that's where we ate. That's where it was. Mm-hmm. I mean, because we played outside every day.
Every
we get
day.
home from school, we're outside. Mm-hmm. We didn't have computers. We didn't have video games. We didn't have any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we played all the sports no matter what. So we had good hand and eye coordination, so I don't know, something to be said for the old ways.
There is.
Really is.
We had on Steve D'Agostino. You heard of him before?
Yeah, I know Dax.
Dags is great. We had Dags on last week on the podcast, and he phrased it well. Because, like, we'll say in here, like, man, just if kids just went back to the days of playing in the yard with their friends, getting into fights, making up games, just doing stuff, there's tremendous benefit to that.
There is.
But Dags said, like, that's just not where we're living now, so we got to make the most out of,
gotta
what today's culture is
You got to
like.
create those scenarios in the organized aspect, which is what he says he does a lot with he'll coach a drill, and then it's literally like a pickup drill essentially. You're playing one-on-one. You don't beat them, you're off the court.
Right.
The other person's on the court.
Right.
So he creates that competition and that adversity that we talked about with him within an organized setting, because I don't know if it's ever going to go back to where it's super unorganized like we were. Like, I've talked about before. I used to go out. I'd play 2 hours of wiffle ball, grab a snack, 2 hours of basketball, grab a snack,
Yeah.
2 hours of home run derby. Then it's dark out. Now we're playing 2 hours of
Yeah,
manhunt. Like,
that's right.
You're doing all this stuff outside, and now
Well,
it's all super organized. So.
it is. But I will say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think a lot of this organized stuff is really about money. It really is. It's the financial. Somebody's gaining. I get called all the time to, can you help my son do this? We'll pay you. No, I don't need you to pay me. I'm a coach. I'm supposed to help kids. That's what I'm supposed to do. You don't need to pay me for that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not knocking anybody with this AAU. Everything's about, I want to be on this team. I want to be on that team. And it's all about money. But are you really improving your skill?
Yeah, are you really doing, Paul and I, if you guys look, we're just shaking our heads with a big yes. Like, it's about money.
Yeah.
And that, the kids, ideal path for development as as their physical game and their psychological game gets pushed to the side for that.
Yeah.
And it's the trickle down from the pressures of D1 scholarships and parents' thoughts of what that means.
Grandeur.
Yep. Well, and with the scholarships, one of the things that I loved, going back to what Dag said, was you're never playing for a scholarship.
Yeah.
The scholarship is a byproduct.
That's right.
Of everything else that you do. And like you've talked about, working on your technique, doing other things, whether it's playing a different sport, going to a boxing class, going to, whatever it is, doing something else that's going to help your athleticism and help if you want to play baseball, help your game in baseball. But it doesn't mean you have to pick up a bat or a glove or a baseball every single day.
Yeah.
You can go do something else that's not baseball related.
And I can't tell you how many times kids have said to me after they graduated high school, Coach Wash, I really should have played football for you. I only played baseball, and you told me, come play football, come do track, and I concentrated on baseball. Or, I mean, they're like, we messed up, Coach. Yeah. We really did. I regret not doing all the sports, because they put everything in one basket, and when it doesn't work out for them, they're like, oh, okay.
And you only have so long to play sports.
That's right.
Yeah. Like, you only have so long to be like at your peak athleticism. Well, you could play for a long time. I still play flag football, but you can play for a long time, but you're only at your peak athleticism for so long, or at your best athleticism. And again, you're only in those high school age years for so long, so you get
That's right.
And for me, when I think of that, like the first team I think of is my senior year baseball team.
Yeah.
And it comes back to coaching technique and chemistry, and that's what we did.
We got lucky though, and it was the times, but like
it was perfect timing.
Just our coaches during football, and Spud and Niles, and then baseball with
Stelz, right? Wasn't Stelzy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
oh my God, Siri. Does that ever happen to you guys?
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Do you have an Apple Watch or no?
No.
Yeah,
good. Don't. Siri
yells at you for no reason.
I'm sorry, everybody. This thing's wild. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Drink Alchemy. Fatigue and brain fog affect us all, destroying everything we pursue. Whether as an athlete, artist, creator, or entrepreneur, our mind holds the key to performing optimally. By combining the most potent organic nootropics found in nature, Drink Alchemy delivers sustainable boost to creativity, memory, energy, and focus in one epic beverage. Stop pumping your body full of excessive amounts of caffeine and unknown proprietary blends from other energy drinks, and get clean energy from Drink Alchemy's natural nootropics like lion's mane, L-theanine, and caffeine from green tea. Used by Olympians, D1 athletes, MMA fighters, and entrepreneurs, Drink Alchemy has become a huge part of my daily routine, making sure I'm functioning optimally during long days of coaching athletes, running CDSF, and getting in quality workouts myself. So do yourself a favor and ditch the energy drinks loaded with caffeine, other stimulants, and who knows what else, and head over to drinkalchemy.com today. Live with your mind unbound and save 10% off your order by using code CDSF at checkout. That's drinkalchemy.com, promo code CDSF for 10% off your order today.
The transformations that people go through in their life. I see it all the time. Probably one reason I don't coach football anymore, because it's different. Like you guys coming up, you guys hung on every word I said. You guys were there. You're paying attention.
You're talking. We're taking a knee and listening.
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
You do.
Nowadays, it's a little different. Everybody thinks they're, Friday Night Lights. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to put in the time, but they want to wear the jersey. Hey, I'm on the football team, and it's just not the same. You know what I mean?
I saw
it's just not the same.
Crazy post yesterday from one of our.
Can we say it? I was about to say the same thing.
Emil's post.
Listen to this. Listen to this, Gerald.
He got a message from a kid asking if he made the soccer team that he didn't make tryouts for.
Or missed the last day of tryouts.
I don't think he made the tryout. He didn't even make the tryout. I don't even think he made the tryout. He might have made one. Maybe it was missed the last day. But from what I read, it was like he didn't even make the tryout. And he basically said, parents, make sure your kid doesn't message a coach about making a team that they couldn't make a tryout for. And it's like, you want to put on a jersey, but you don't want to go to the tryout.
You want to put it in time.
And when I was like mind blown. I was like, oh my God, that really happened?
But when we say stuff like this, I always feel like I don't want to sound like the guy where I'm like, oh, back in the day. But it's like, there's a lot of merit to
There is.
A lot of merit. I'm telling you. So what are you guys' thoughts on, and I always wanted to ask a younger person this, everybody gets a participation ribbon. What are your thoughts?
I mean, at some point, you have to teach that the work that you put in, you can gather equal reward. Mm-hmm. And if you don't put in the physical and the mental work, that you shouldn't be given these rewards that are bigger than the efforts that you put in.
Right.
Because if you at a young age are taught I can just coast by, not work hard, and get a bunch of accolades.
That's right.
At some point, when you get into the workforce, your performance dictates
That's right.
your pays, your positive reviews,
I
your
totally
growing your career. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that.
Mike put it in much nicer terms than I would have.
I'm a fan of at young ages being happy and enjoying playing sports.
Yeah.
Well,
But then slowly learning those lessons that
Yeah.
what I put in is what I get out.
and
That's
I think
right.
at a young age, the reward is being on the team. Mm-hmm. I don't need like growing up, I didn't need a medal or a ribbon or whatever.
Right.
To me, the reward was I got to play. I was on a team.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I was, in T-ball, I kept score. So I was always competitive.
Yeah.
So for me, I always kept score in whatever sport I was doing. But when I got to a certain level and then you started to get those trophies, it's like, oh, this is what I can, if we're doing well as a team and I'm doing well as an individual, this is what I can get to. Mm-hmm. It gives you something to strive for as opposed to like, I don't want to work hard or I don't want to go to the tryout or.
Paul, you passed your scorekeeping on to Sam in high school?
Yep. Yeah.
Shout out to Sam
Shout
for
out
being
to
a
Sam.
baseball scorekeeper.
Baseball,
Ready?
basketball.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't once basketball, you met, what'd you do, shot clock or game clock?
She did the game clock. She did the game clock because of Thor. I remember the story.
Didn't you, come here, tell the story. Shout out John Thorson if he's listening.
Oh, man.
I love John Thorson.
So do I. Thorson's
Once,
awesome.
Can I say
His kid's a stud.
yeah,
baseball
say
player.
names.
Yeah.
Thorson's great. Yeah. So Sam did the game clock, and then what happened once?
So it was like the end of the game, pretty much, and Ryan Merchant was about to foul out.
Oh, yeah.
And
Merchant. Wow.
I didn't sub him out on time because my dad called me because he was outside waiting for me.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick up the phone right away. I was like, I literally like handed it to Stelz and was like, tell him if the game's not over, it's like overtime. And literally missed the sub. Thorson's screaming at me and Stelz in the middle of the game, like, what is she doing? She's on her phone. I was like, I wasn't. That the next day at school, he actually called me down in the principal's office to apologize.
Did they win the game?
I have
Who
no
knows?
idea.
Yeah, who knows? It doesn't matter.
Ryan
team-
Merchant.
that team
God
probably
dang,
did.
That's a name from the past.
Yeah, man.
Jesus. I always say that I have failed 1,000 times more than I've ever succeeded at anything. I just never quit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I just never quit. I didn't have I don't know that. And I taught my kids that. I taught all of them. You don't ever quit. You got to be 10 times as good to be considered as good. Mm-hmm. So you just work hard. You outwork everybody.
Well, and I think that's pretty much anybody that's been successful. They failed more times than they succeeded,
Sure.
or at least
But
they've seen failure.
But
many times.
somebody, you have to realize, or somebody's to teach you those lessons along the way. Like I had Dave growing up,
Yeah.
and working for Dave, playing sports for Dave as my dad. Anytime you messed up, he's gonna tell you about it,
Right.
And then at some point you go, yeah, okay. Well, now I'm gonna have 20 more tries to not mess up the same
That's
shit.
right. That's
and we'll keep going.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Dave definitely held you accountable too. That was a thing.
Yeah.
My phone went off one time in Little League practice. I had 100 push-ups, and he was not joking.
Yeah.
And I did 100 push-ups. That was not fun. But
No.
it.
But it benefited you.
It benefited me. It
Benefited
taught me
you.
a lesson. It
Sure.
taught me something. And at the time, I was like, I don't want to do these goddamn push-ups, but I'm going to do them because if I didn't do them, I wasn't going to be practicing.
Right.
And
That's right.
that was, it was like, okay, well,
That's
I'd rather
right.
practice than do push-ups. So,
That's right. Absolutely. Good for you.
plus, push-ups.
Hard work never hurt anybody.
No.
And like having that in sports is great, but then having other outlets in life is also very,
Yeah.
very important.
Absolutely.
Because you were around horses growing
yeah.
up, or
Oh, yeah. I'm a horse person. I've rode the rodeo circuit for 21 years.
no shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I did not know that. Like, what do you
Really?
mean? Like, what'd you do?
I rode bulls for 16 years, and then I calf rope, team rope, and won the all-around title. I've done a lot of stuff. You guys didn't know that?
No.
No.
I was sitting here thinking 5 minutes ago, because I put on the first junior rodeo at the Chatham Fair, and I'm wondering, why didn't I get you on a bull?
Do you think I'd be good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sign me up.
I'm serious.
Sign me up.
Because
Would I still be good, or have I aged out?
No, you might have aged out.
Oh,
now.
okay.
But I had Will McMahon. Remember Will McMahon?
Yeah, I love
He
Will.
went to LaSalle.
Yeah.
I had Garrett, and I had a bunch of young Chatham
Like
kids.
riding the bull.
Riding the bulls, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
yeah.
that's fucking sick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why didn't we know this?
I don't know why you guys didn't know that.
I don't know. I missed out.
Oh,
Sam,
my
I
God.
probably would have
Fucked
rode
up
if
right
I
now.
if I had known that you were doing it. I probably would have rode a bull at that.
Yeah, yeah. That was, and I was getting at the end of my career. I think the last rodeo I competed in was 2005 at Glens Falls Civic Center.
So you were still competing in the rodeos when you
Yeah.
were coaching us at.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So what would you do? What do you do in a rodeo? I'm starting at ground zero
Well,
right now.
I roped calves and I team rope and steer wrestle at that time. I wasn't riding bulls anymore.
Like
No.
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
You got videos?
I've got some cool pictures.
Oh yeah.
Here,
Let me see.
I'll show you. All right, pass that over. Read that and look at that.
1995 all-around champion, calf roper, team roper, steer wrestling.
What's steer wrestling?
That sounds
Jumping off
that
a
sounds
perfectly
intense.
good horse on an 800-pound cow and throwing him to the ground.
What?
Yeah,
You had to throw an 800-pound cow to the.
yeah.
How do you even start with that?
Yo, Steve Irwin had to wrestle alligators. This guy was doing 800-pound cows. Okay.
What it was, you have a little four-wheeler and a chain with a bar on it, and you'd hold it.
Sam, give me your phone. Take a picture of this. I'm gonna
Kinda like
post
this.
this so
Here's
people
the
can
horns,
see.
here's the head, and you're
Wait, stay like that.
you're doing just like that. You're sliding, and then when you get his head around, then you flip him, and then you're done. But you
Jeez,
jump off
man.
a perfectly good horse, slide him, he's pushing you, and you grab his nose and you flip him around.
Just so you know, I carry that stick around all the time. Jim, I'm now going to use that demonstration with that.
Well, Paul, you haven't known what the stick's for. Now you know.
Yeah.
That
Matter of fact,
that
flip
white
to the
people stick
next
pipe.
picture, it'll show you the steer.
Oh, you got to get a picture of this one, Sam. This one's even better.
I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, Joe, just
Oh, yeah.
send this to me later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send you on to him. Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Is that
Yeah.
a great mustache in that picture right there too?
yeah,
That is a great.
that was a
I
good
was gonna say,
mustache.
that's a good
back in the
mustache
day.
right there.
So did you travel doing all that?
Yeah, I traveled the country. Yeah. And then when my kids started rodeo, like Nia was a heck of a barrel racer. But
How did
Nia
I not
can
know
ro-
any of this?
Yeah.
man?
I feel like I
my
remember
God.
her. I remember her
Nia
riding
was
horses.
phenomenal. Nia's, Tyler was a little too young to do anything.
Right.
He was riding calves. I have videos of Nia barrel racing, and I have videos of Tyler and Garrett riding like steers and calves. I got a lot of videos on my phone.
That's
It's
really
amazing. I keep all that stuff.
Cool. Do you still?
But yeah, we're a rodeo family.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
But again, we talked about it off air beforehand of just having that outlet and not just identifying as an athlete. And Mike brought it up. We talked about Josh Kais that we went to high school with and how he was an artist, he was a snowboarder, he did all these other things that weren't just football.
right, weren't just football.
And I never think of Josh just as a football player.
Right,
So
right.
that having that outlet to do other things and expand your knowledge on things is great.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
so important. Because then that's led you to, what are you doing now? You're doing Gilded Age on HBO?
Yeah, so I
How did that
am
come
a
about?
wrangler. 30 years ago, when I'm riding the rodeo circuit, right, I met a guy named Danny Glover. Okay,
Like the Danny Glover?
the Danny Glover.
Okay. Making sure that we were on the same page here.
So yeah, the Danny Glover. So at the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, which was like a black rodeo, right? So Danny was the grand marshal. I met him in Denver. So we're going to Atlanta, and Danny didn't know how to ride a horse. And I was like, oh, okay, Danny, well, I got to show you how to ride a horse because you'll be the grand marshal in the parade, right? Well, the horse they gave us was some really hot Palomino horse. Danny says, nah. So he sat in the car or the wagon or whatever. So anyway, he said, well, you should come do stunts. You know, you kind of look like me. So I did a couple of movies with Danny Glover as a stunt double, extra, you know, stunt double. Stand-in, I think it was the correct word back then.
What movies were they? You remember?
Silverado, Lonesome Dove. Then I did Buffalo Soldiers. So that was 30 years ago. I raised kids, as you know, lived in Chatham. Last year, one of my kids at LaSalle said, Coach Wash, they're making a movie in Troy called The Gilded Age, and they are keeping the horses at my dad's barn. You know? Oh, okay. So my dad wants to know if you're interested, because they asked us if we knew any black cowboys, and we knew you. I'm like, yeah, okay. So a guy named Steve McCallis called me from Animal Actors and said, understand you ride horses, and can you drive carriages? Yeah, I'm pretty good at driving carriages. I can drive, you know, a lot of different types, you know. He said, all right. So he really didn't believe me, because how many black guys you know drive carriages, right? How many black guys you know ride horses in this part of this country? So I said, okay, well, why don't you call the Screen Actors Guild, look up my credits, call me if you need me. And the next day he said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I really am very sorry. So, oh yeah, you're hired. So I got a 5-year contract with HBO, and I'm on the Gilded Age. So
that's filming out in Troy?
Yeah, well, last year was the first season, filmed in Troy. I wasn't in Newport or Long Island. So this year, I went to Long Island. I couldn't do Newport because I caught COVID, so my son Garrett did Newport.
So Garrett's in it too?
Yeah, Garrett's in it too.
No way.
Yeah, I got pictures of all this.
That's awesome.
So then we did, and Garrett came to Long Island, we did Bethpage, and then we came to Troy and Albany. August 3rd was Nia and I's first time, and then we just finished last week. So. Yeah.
That's a cool experience,
That's
man.
really cool.
Was that the biggest production that you've been in?
That was the biggest production, yes. And it's a period piece. Think about it. Silverado was a Western.
Right.
You know, Lonesome Dove was a Western. I'm a cowboy.
I mean, it's the producers of Downton Abbey, right?
Yeah. It was Julian Fellows. You know, he's the creator. But yeah, it's you know, they got great. It's HBO is phenomenal organization to work for, because they no holds barred. They cover everything. It's phenomenal. The directors are awesome. You know, Michael Egler's a world-renowned director, and we have like 2 or 3 directors. You know, different people. But you know, executive producers are wonderful. Everybody's great. I mean, the people are just great to work with. You know, it's just wonderful.
Yeah, that's
So I'm very fortunate to be doing that. So I got Nia involved, my daughter Nia.
So she's in it. She's
Nia's
doing
in it too. Yeah.
So did you know this?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for the inside information, Sam.
I told him.
Yeah, Sam tells me a lot of shit, and I
You
just
should know.
Well, my wife tells me a lot of stuff, but I can't remember.
listen to this, Gerald. I'm
Yeah.
coaching our big group this morning, 6 a.m., moving around. I'm coaching on the floor. The F Siri on this Apple Watch, but it's nice for a text message when you're coaching.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pull your phone out. You can just like scroll through and see if it's important or not. And this morning I buzzed, and it was very important. I left the house this morning. I was like, Sam, goodbye. I'll see you later. You're going to produce Gerald's episode tonight. And I get a buzz, and I look, and it says, I'm going to pull it up right now so I can read it. It says, Gerald, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Hold on. I didn't know we texted this much today, Sam. It says, happy anniversary, butthead. I forgot it was your anniversary. Yeah. So happy anniversary, Sam.
It's now on the air.
Wait. That was this morning. So what happened between then and now?
We're good. I said happy anniversary. I forgot, dude, and we're here. So
We went to dinner last
we did dinner last week.
Oh, okay.
but-
All right.
Yeah. 4:30 in the morning. I can't remember.
You got
too
a forgiving
much.
wife like I do.
I did
That's
ask,
important, man.
Yeah, it is.
I did ask Sam, is that the wedding anniversary or like the real anniversary? Like the
Wedding,
real
wedding.
one. Like
Yeah.
when, like, you know,
Right. Uh-huh.
8th grade Mike and 9th grade Sam.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, well, behind every good man is a great woman. I'm
It's
tell
the
you.
best woman, man. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is-
it's the only way this place functions, man. the
Oh,
way
I know,
it
man.
is.
Believe me, I know. Hey.
Yeah.
Sam
that's-
also texted me yesterday and said, or was it yesterday or the day before? It was this week. Make sure Mike leaves at 1:30. And I was like, don't worry, I'll just throw him out. She's like, just pick him up and put him in his car. And I was like,
There you
okay. Now she's picking him up so that he leaves on time.
Good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so Gilded Age season 2, you just filmed.
Yeah,
and
we
wrapped
just
up.
we just wrapped up here. We got to go to Bethpage, Long Island, the end of the month, and then we have one scene in October down there. But I don't know if I'm going to make the end of the month because I'm a school bus driver at LaSalle.
You do it
and
all
I'm the
there,
only
huh?
school bus driver they have, so I can't really take a week off of school because nobody else that has a CDL that can drive the bus.
LaSalle better be. What's LaSalle gonna do if you're not around? This place won't run, bro.
Well, I'm sure it'll still run, but a lot of parents think the same thing. Coach Watts, you're not leaving, are you? No. Coach Watts, you sure you're not leaving? You're getting pretty hot on this movie thing. Well, I'm not leaving.
But who else is in that? I was looking to say, what's the lead woman's name? She's been in a bunch of other good stuff.
Well, you have Christine Baranski,
Yeah.
Cynthia Nixon, and Louisa Jacobson, which is Meryl Streep's daughter. And then you have Danae Benton. You know, she's an African-American actress, and she's very good. Yeah. So, matter of fact, it's funny. Tell you a little secret, because I had to teach her how to milk a cow. So it's kind of funny.
She had to do that in a scene?
Yeah, she had to do it in the scene. It was funny.
So she's like, Coach Wash, teach me how to milk a cow.
Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly like that. My agent says, Gerald, you need to teach Danae how to milk a cow. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, good.
That's
That's
easy.
cool. Yeah. Hey.
You know?
So, and then everybody wanted to get in on it. You know, everybody, oh, can you teach us? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was fun. It's like a big family at the
It's
Gilded
so
Age.
cool,
It really
man.
is. It's everybody likes each other. Everybody knows each other. Kind of cool, you know.
Well, before, when we were off air too, you brought up when you were in Long Island, right? You were with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds? Was that
I was in Boston.
in
with-
Boston?
with
That's what
Will.
it was.
Yeah.
With Will Ferrell and Ryan
Yeah.
What
Reynolds.
were you with those guys for?
We did a movie called Spirited. It's a musical. It's going to come out in December.
How great is Will Ferrell?
Phenomenal.
Like,
Dude.
that had to be the funniest time.
Like,
those two.
like, is him off the camera? Is it what you would think it would
Yeah,
be?
Will's funny on, off. He's funny always. And, you know, I didn't know Ryan was that funny either. Ryan's funny. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
They're just they're regular guys. Just regular good people. They really are. Just like we're sitting here talking, those guys be same thing, cracking on each other, singing songs, you know.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, you go back to SNL, like he was great.
Yeah.
And then he's a big ad lib guy, right? Mm-hmm. He'll just let it rip.
They just let it
His run of movies from old school to he hits Elf, he hits Step Brothers, he
Talladega
hits
Nights.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Is oh my god.
And we've talked about it in here, like the comedic actors, they all have that like 5 to 7 year run of just movies where they're just putting
Yeah.
out. Like you had like Adam Sandler, you had Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Before Adam Sandler, you had Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
You know, now you have like Kevin Hart has gone through his run of like
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
And it's really, and like you said, but you forgot one too, Anchorman, another
Anchorman.
solid
Yeah.
one. Like Will Ferrell had a run of
Yeah.
just like it was movie after movie, and you were laughing every single time.
The
that you
dude
went.
is funny as heck.
Yeah.
And look, I'm nobody. I'm a wrangler. I just do stunts and I
So
work
yeah,
with the horses.
can you speak? Can you speak about that? What'd you do with that movie? Same stuff?
So yeah, so I was the premier stunt guy, and you know we're driving carriages, and of course you're controlling the horses and moving them around. We're on this little tight alley, and if you took a carriage down the street, you had to unhitch, push it back, move the horse around, keep it from slipping on cobblestone. It's a lot of work, but you know, it's not a big deal for me because I'm used to it, or any other wrangler or cowboy, if you will, because we're used to doing it. But everybody else is like, wow, you guys really work hard, you know. So, and they're just great people, you know. So we're like the background. So we're not one of the actual actors. We're not saying anything, you know what I mean? We're just there, but it's part of the production. you know?
Yeah, you're an important piece. That's
Yeah,
like
an
on a
important
sports.
piece.
It's like on a sports team.
Yeah,
you know what,
and
piece
they
you
recognize
play.
it, and they like, you guys are awesome. Like Ryan Reynolds brought his wife over and his daughter. Hey, can my daughter pet the horses? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm taking pictures, and Nia's like, Dad, do you know who that is? No. I know Ryan Reynolds. I don't know his wife. Really, Dad? I'm like, Dad, that's Blake Lively. Who's that? I'm so old. I'm like, Dad, you're behind the times. So I'm like, Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Oh, that's so cool.
That's so funny, though.
I mean, that's like us, like when we have professional athletes in here, like it's just another dude, man. You
Yeah,
just
just-
want to talk about football. And,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's
just
it.
I don't know. I'm not starstruck,
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm like, oh, okay.
I'll
People
never
are people.
forget the one kid in here.
This is a good story.
This is a good story. So we had Tommy Canley. At the time, he was playing for the Yankees, now with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in here. And when he's having a conversation with you, it's like football, video games, and beer. Like,
Yeah.
that's what he's talking about. He's
Yeah.
not talking about baseball that much. Like, and this one kid in here, he was working out with him, and he would talk to him about, like, Call of Duty and video games.
Yeah.
And he went home to his dad. He's like, Dad, there's this giant kid in the gym. He's huge. He's super strong, this, that, and the other thing. And then we posted that when he signed with the Dodgers. We posted on our thing. And he goes, Dad, that's the kid. He's like, dude, that's a grown man that plays Major League Baseball. That is not a kid. So he had no idea that this guy was a Major League pitcher and like a good pitcher for the Yankees going through his, Tommy John recovery and everything.
Right.
But it was just so funny that he just, it's kind of like that whole thing. Like, he was never starstruck. He probably doesn't watch baseball much. He's a lacrosse player.
Right.
And he was just talking about Call of Duty, assumed he was like an 18-year-old kid. Meanwhile, he's 32 and like throwing 100 miles an hour in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So when you have those moments, and I'm sure like Tommy loved that about it. Like, kid didn't even like look at him as like anybody other than a regular person.
Yeah, you're a regular person because
You know?
we all are.
That's all we are. you
Well,
know?
just regular people. We do different things. We take different paths. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, the world can use more of that. We just
Yeah.
all want to fucking help each other.
That's
do
right.
well. Somewhere that gets lost. It's like the social media and the like conceitedness and like I just want to get known. I just want to
Yeah.
get likes. I just want to. It's tough.
Well-
It's like if we can relate anything to kids, like that's it, man. Like get good friends, and you want to do well, and you want to help all your other friends do well.
Everybody along the way. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
I've been very fortunate in my life. I'm very blessed to do the things that I've done. Some stuff we talked about today, right? But you gotta, and the more I give, the more I get. So you gotta reach back and just help the next one in line. You know, I mean, an athlete texted me. Won't mention any names. Coach Washington, I need help with this particular event and track. Who do you know? Well, I know a couple of people, and I'm willing to pay. And I'm like, well, I'll help you for free. I mean, I'm not the best at this particular event, but if you need help, I'll help you. And that's what it's all about, you know? If you're a coach, you want to coach, help everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I don't like that. I don't like when coaches have an ego, and when you know that their motivations are only for their own self-fulfillment.
Yep,
That's one of my least favorite things with kids, man.
that's right.
So what the fuck are you doing? You're an adult.
Yeah.
Help everybody. Help everybody. That's what it's all about.
I
know?
had a conversation earlier with somebody today, and it comes back to that. Why can't it be we, not me?
That's right.
Because that's just where that's where society. Look at our country. That's where society's
That's
at, man.
where society's at. But
That's
we
where
gotta
it's
be
at.
better than that.
Like you look at even at different microcosms. Like let's just take the industry we're in, the fitness industry. You see people that are like, "Well, my methodologies are right and yours are wrong, and this is better and that's not good." We're all just trying to help people.
Right.
Yeah, we're all trying to help people.
Like I've said it to people in here before. I'm like, whether you come here or go somewhere else, as long as you're getting better at what you want to get better at,
That's right.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me.
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
You want some more?
No.
You're
I'm
good.
good. I'm good.
Okay.
I gotta
okay.
drive
I
home.
see you empty over there.
No,
Gotta
I'm good.
ask. It's only polite.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, I'm good. Yeah. It's in
yeah.
the middle of the week, you know.
You know.
Oh, actually, it's not. It is
It's
the weekend.
Friday.
isn't
It is Friday. You
It
know?
is Friday. Does
I
that
got to
change-
work horses tomorrow, so I.
You did say you do have stuff to do in the morning. So.
Yeah, I got to be in Connecticut early in the morning working
Connecticut. Okay.
teams of horses for the Gilded Age.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in there during production, but you're also taking care of horses.
Well, no. So what it is, Allegra Farms. John Allegra is the guy. He owns all the horses and all the carriages. He lives in East Haddam, Connecticut. So he's got a bunch of new teams in. So I'll go down and I'll work horses. You know, 'cause
Meaning what? What's work?
that means like he's got a couple of new pairs in. Okay, new teams. So I'll take a team and I'll take them out and I'll drive them, and just making sure we know what they're going to do at any particular moment. Because horses are just like people. Some are on the edge, some are very quiet, some are muffled up and ready to explode. So they need to be worked.
So you get a new horse, you're learning about the
That's
horse.
exactly right. That's exactly right. because when you're on a movie set, you want to make sure that there are no accidents. And accidents can happen. You know what I mean? Some horses, they get hot and they'll take off on you, you know. So I'm going to work horses for John Allegra tomorrow, you know, and it keeps me on my game. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I just go on a movie set and drive horses and then go home, well, I'm not really on my game, am I?
Right.
Because you want to get to the set and you know the horse that you're with.
Absolutely. I want to know every one of those 50 horses and know what they're going to do.
If you see them do one little thing, you'd be like, all right, this is what they're going to.
Exactly.
Is that something you had to learn over the many years of working with horses? Like, shit, this thing has a personality.
Yeah, you have to learn that. And it takes time. Like I said, it takes time.
Dude.
Techniques.
I struggle with my
Techniques.
dog. Imagine horses, bro.
The same. It's the same. And people, you have to build a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. You wouldn't have liked me as a coach if I just yelled at you and screamed at you all the time.
Yeah.
But somewhere I made an impact on your life.
1000%.
Because that's why I'm here now.
I
You know what I mean?
I remember.
You
I
know?
mean, we reconnected at Novices, Bernardo's
That's right.
Super Bowl party.
That's right.
I saw you at the end of the bar. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, that's Coach Watch.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah, it
I mean,
was.
that was the highlight of my night. Just
Yeah,
like
mine too,
you know,
man.
Reconnecting
Mine
with
too.
you.
Mine
it's been
too.
many, many years.
Yeah. It
since
has.
that night.
You know what I mean? Good things. You know, stay positive. All positive things. I like to say all the good people in the world are going to meet each other sooner or later. So it starts with me and you and you and you.
Yeah,
We
the
could
world-
be a positive influence on somebody.
The world gets smaller the more you just kind of do shit.
That's exactly right. You know, I'm a firm believer in that. You know, good people, good things, good thoughts, positive thoughts. I'm positive every day. I've never had a bad day in my life.
Yeah.
Ever. Never, ever had a bad day.
This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Anchor and the all-new Anchor Pro, crafted to endure the most high-performance workouts without the high cost and space requirements of a standard cable machine. Named the best portable cable machine by Men's Health Home Gym Awards, Anchor provides the full functionality of a cable machine in one small space-saving unit. Designed with user-friendliness in mind, Anchor can simply be attached to any squat rack or placed on any wall in your home gym using its intuitive sliding track mount. With up to 65 pounds of resistance, Anchor is built for high speed and controlled exercises alike, from cable presses and rows to chops and lifts. The Anchor has been a game changer for us here at CDSF, and now you can enjoy the same professional quality cable machine in your own home gym by heading over to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Get all the benefits of a cable machine without the high cost and installation fees. Enjoy the portable luxury and space-saving performance of Anchor today by going to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 at checkout. That's anchortraining.com, promo code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today.
What did your dad say the other day?
Dave told me this. So
Dave,
Dave
literally, I was like, holy shit.
Dave started working out here, which is great.
He did.
I mean, yeah, you know Dave. He goes 1,000,000 miles an hour
Yep.
until he runs through a wall and something happens. That's like me too.
Yeah. Ship off the old block, right?
So yeah, he hurt his shoulder. Now I'm so happy he's here though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good for his health. Man.
Yeah,
I love
he's
my
a
dad.
good man.
He's a great man.
He really is.
I said, hey, we're having Gerald on the podcast on Friday. I said, I can't wait, man. I said, I have no agenda. Like, I just want to shoot the shit with Gerald,
Yeah.
and just kind of catch up and kind of extend our conversation from the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Tell me if this is true. And Jordan, cut it if it's not. But if it is, he said, I think Gerald has gone skiing with Oprah before. Facts? That's wild.
Because Stedman Graham was one of my best friends. And back in the day, I met him in Denver when I moved from, So, I've gone skiing with him.
That's wild,
That's
man.
pretty wild.
Well,
Like recently or back in the day?
no, this was 15 years ago.
I mean, she's one of the
This
most
is at the height, though.
She's one of the most prolific women in our country,
Yeah.
man.
But just regular, good people.
Right? That's like what we said with
Just
the pro
regular,
athletes.
good
Like,
people.
Yep.
Yeah.
is she a good skier? Is she a good skier?
You know what? Yeah, they're all good skiers. I mean, we're all old now. Remember, we just cruise down the hill. Yeah.
We're just moving. We're just going.
Yeah.
Just going for the
I just
leisurely drive.
happened to be there when they were there. I just happened to like Stead, Gerald. Oh, good, So
That's pretty funny though. But I
Yeah.
remember him talking about that, and then he said something else too about just like that kind of blew my mind too. Was he was like, people talk about, going to heaven
yeah,
and all that.
Oh,
And
this is I love my
and-
dad. So like,
Go ahead. You say what you're gonna say.
The guy, I mean, right, state trooper for 20 years, painting company. Just like, I don't think growing up he had much time to think. He was just going, right?
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of work lately, and we've had like some deaths in our family and like friend group lately. He told Paul and I this the other day, and I was like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah. So he was like, everybody's trying to get to heaven, and he's like, this is heaven. Like, this is the best it's not going to get any better than this.
He's right.
He's like, this is heaven.
He's right.
And he's like, why am I going to wait to live my best life or do the things I want to do? He's like, this is the part to live in. And I
totally agree.
When you were talking before we got on the Oprah thing, like that's what popped in my head when I thought about Dave. And then obviously it catered into that. But it was just, when he said that, I sat there for a second. I was just like, holy shit. I'm like, you just like blew my mind just with that statement of like, this is it. Like, this is where you're going to get the best that you're going to get. And
that's right.
I was like, damn, like that's, you know.
Give it your all every single
And I'm like,
day,
Dave, you've taught me lessons from the time I was like 5 years old, and I'm 32, and you're still teaching me shit.
Yep, that's right. Stay positive. Be positive. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your family, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Well, that's something that for you, with everything going on, like you've gotten more into, you know.
Yeah, my grandma passed in April.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. And yeah, you probably heard her cussing out refs at football games back in the day. That's like all you ever heard in your brain. Here's Siri again. Yeah, rest in peace to my grandma. But yeah, so I've like, because I'm like Dave. I'm cut from that exact cloth. Like, you're just gonna keep working and just keep working, and you disregard a lot of things with that. Yeah, so her that's like the first real big death that I've had in my
family.
life.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, shit, man. Like at the end of the day, that's all you have.
Yeah.
Like this business is great, and anything else I work on is great, but like that all means nothing without.
That's right. That's right. Well, it means nothing without your family, your good friends.
Your good friends.
Everything.
When we first moved back here, we had no friends. They were all in Boston.
Yeah.
And then Nia, she was our friend. We hung out with her a bunch. And then she moved away, and then we had no friends again.
Well, heck. Sunday at our house is normally family and friends day. Anybody comes over, we cook. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Seriously. So
Well,
y'all
listen,
are around
yeah,
the
we're
corner,
just-
so.
Listen, we're just right down the road,
Yeah.
which is wild, man. But I love Burnt Hills, so like that's where we moved.
Yeah. I like that area.
It's so great. It's just like it's removed. Like here we're in Clifton Park, and it's great to run business in Clifton Park.
Yeah.
But it's a lot if you had to live in. If I feel like I had for me to live in Clifton Park.
Well, we're from a smaller town area. We like the smallness.
yeah.
No, for sure. Like I like the close knit, the
knowing
family,
everybody.
the family feeling, and that's part of the reason why I think we've built what we've built here is because of that. And it's just you get that vibe. Like when I talked to a kid from Shannon, remember there was 2 kids in here that were in the same grade.
Yeah.
Had no idea who each other was, and I was
Didn't
like,
know each other.
That
I was
baffles me.
mind blown. I was like, you
But
don't know who anybody.
that's for the big schools.
Yeah, I was like, you don't know
Big
this person.
schools.
They're in your grade. I'm like, I
What?
knew everybody in every grade.
What are the pluses to big schools? I talk about the minuses a lot. Tell me are there pluses?
I don't know because I've never been at a big school,
Yeah, me neither.
so I'm the wrong person.
Yeah,
to
and
ask.
all the kids that we're
I've
with are
always
in a
been
big
at a small
school.
You know?
I
Grew up in a
think
small
back.
school.
I mean,
You know?
I like
My
what you
kids
get.
went to a small
I like
school.
what you get. in
And
a
even
small-
like, what's the graduating class at like LaSalle?
At the most, it'd be probably 90.
Right.
Yeah, that's like
which,
Chatham.
Which is Chatham. Like I graduated in '98.
Yeah.
So you're still getting that close knit. Yeah, it's a private school, whatever, but you're still getting that close knit,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
community. And that I think you see that with the kids that we've had in here, or kids that you've had as athletes and students. It's you see that community aspect get built through that.
That's
And,
right.
You lose that sometimes. I think with like the bigger schools.
I think you do, and the personal relationships, and the essence of family. Because
Right.
a small community, small school, it's family oriented.
Well, and I just think back
very
with,
important.
with Chatham, how many times we've had, whether it's somebody getting sick or a death or whatever, and just the community just rallies.
That's right. Just
rallies around it, and you just see everybody come together, no matter who it is. It comes back to that
Yeah.
we versus me type thing.
That's right.
Like
That's right.
you see that in small communities where the we matters more
That's
usually
right.
than the me.
That's
And-
exactly
and
right. Totally agree, guys.
So hopefully that can be something that spreads farther. But
Yeah.
we'll do our best to do it here.
That's right. Absolutely. Every day starts with we're just a spoke in the wheel. All of us, just a spoke in the wheel. Keep it turning. Keep it moving in the positive direction.
Yeah, you need to understand that you're just a spoke in the wheel. That's
I think,
all we all are.
I think that's it too. You got to
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah, you got to understand that. Spoke in the wheel. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was watching on video today. I'm Googling, and we didn't have much to do at school today because it's orientation day. And I pulled up the Gilded Age, and I'm really understanding what it's all about. Because I
Yeah,
had
'cause-
no idea what it was about.
Funny
when I
because we had
joined.
this conversation
So
today.
we had two guys in who are former teachers. One, I think one taught elementary, one taught high school history. And I said, we had a guy in tonight, and he works the horses. He's on the Gilded Age. And I said, can you tell me about the Gilded Age? And so you had to research yourself even, like what's this time period?
Yeah,
And-
absolutely. Time period, 1880s, the old money, tradition, heritage against the new money. New money's coming in. Old money doesn't like the new money because they're not tradition. They weren't, born into it. They're new. So that's really what it's all about, and the trials and tribulations of trying to get along.
Right.
It's amazing, That's so many different, as it gets further in depth, and I just learned this today, that they'll get into different families of old money, and what they're actually about from Newport to.
So you're talking like the
Long Island.
Vanderbilts and stuff probably back in the day,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So funny you should mention that name, because it doesn't say the Vanderbilts, but the new money was the Vanderbilts.
Vanderbilts.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sam, we were there at a wedding last year, and we walked like that coast and all those crazy houses on the
Oh,
whole
shoot.
coast
In
of
Newport?
Was this?
Yeah.
Was this?
Oh my gosh.
Was I there for this?
No,
this
this was
wasn't
in
sh-
Rhode
yeah.
Island.
Oh, okay, I was like, wait a minute. I remember
Like,
walking water.
Phenomenal.
Wild
whatever it is.
houses. Remember that
Phenomenal.
narrow trail, Sam, we walked on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what
Yeah.
it was called, but that's the new money in the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. That's the new money. Well, yes and no. The old money was already there in Newport. That was all old money. So the new money came onto like Fifth Avenue in New York, and then they end up, infiltrating in Newport. They eventually get houses there.
And then
but-
I haven't watched. And then you have what? Because we're post Civil War now, right? In this show.
yeah, it's like 1880, 1885.
And then you have what? You have like a racial like tensions as well in the show, or no?
Not really. Okay, so one of the lead actresses, Danae Benton, who's African American, she moves, and I think she's moved from, I don't know if she moves from Alabama, wherever she moves from. Her parents live in New York, and they have a pharmacy. So she wants to be a writer. So, somehow she gets involved with one of the nieces and, gets involved with the old money and, works for them for a little while. But it's not any racial tension. Even though it's 1885, I did a scene this year where they were in Tuskegee, Alabama, and the origin of Tuskegee University, which was just a school founded by Booker T. Washington. So I just happened to be Booker T. Washington's driver, and as well as the other prominent African Americans in the show, So, but there's not any really racial tensions. There's one scene. I think there's one scene where there's some racial stuff. A couple of my friends were playing a part, and they didn't want to do it. They were like, "No, we can't do this." And I'm like, "It's just a movie. Come on,
Right.
guys."
Well, and like what I read about it too was like with the Gilded Age and like the show is, it tries to shed more light on the like African American families and people that did have money, that were like that they don't talk about because too many times during that time period, whether it's a movie, a show, whatever it is, they only talk about the slavery aspect.
Right.
They don't talk about the aspect that, there were black families that had money
That were successful. Absolutely.
that were able to be become part of like the higher society, I guess you could say.
Upper middle class, I think we call it.
Yeah,
or
so
they
like,
call it so, or the middle class.
It's cool to see a show, and like I'll probably start at least dive into it a little bit to
you got to start watching it. It's phenomenal.
So I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
So,
it's phenomenal. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal.
I mean,
HBO's
HBO's never really let me down. So
It's great. Are you a big TV guy or no? Do you watch much?
I'm really not.
No.
I'm really not. I mean, I heard Downton Abbey was a phenomenal movie. My wife watched it, and The Gilded Age was the American version of Downton Abbey. I still haven't watched it, but The Gilded Age.
Have you watched The Gilded Age itself? Like after?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to see myself on TV, of course.
Of course.
Is that
There I go. Oh, there I go. Oh,
when you're filming a scene, do you in your head see the whole picture? Or you see an episode, you go, "Oh my gosh, it goes from here to there, and then it shows
No,
this."
you don't see the whole picture. No,
Right.
No, not at all.
You're just doing your scene.
Yeah. Now that it's my second year, now I'm following a little better, so I'm understanding
Like where your scene fits in the
yeah,
story.
they'll shoot a scene, and then they'll move the cameras around. Then they'll advance it. So you got to be here and there. I mean, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
I didn't know any of this, but it's a work in progress. But it's phenomenal. It really is. The work that goes into it. Now, I will say this. A lot of scenes that we shot last year, I thought, oh, man, I'm getting some great airtime. And ended up on the cutting room floor. So,
do you not know until you watch it?
oh,
You're
heck no. You don't know nothing. I mean, for as much as we did.
You're like, wow, I was only there for.
I was only there. Oh, there's a 2-second clip of me right there. Oh, there's a 3-second clip of me right here. I mean, yeah, but all the time you spent, you think, oh man, I'm doing it. But most of the time, I look at this like I never know where the camera is, so I'm just concentrating on my horses.
Right.
And making sure I'm not running anybody over.
Yep.
And making sure when the director cues me, I want you to go. And I'm not, So it's all about safety and.
Well, it probably makes it more natural for you too on camera. And when you see you on camera, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, nobody's looking in the camera. You don't even know where the camera is most of the time.
Well, and it's funny you talking about seeing yourself on TV. I just thought of this, and I've completely forgot that I remember this. Was I in college or living in Pittsfield at the time? I can't remember exactly. What years was Tyler in college?
Tyler started he graduated 2010.
From college?
Yeah. From high school.
Yeah.
So he was college 2011 to 2015, 14?
14, I believe.
So I was probably either living in Pittsfield or at college at the time. And I'm watching ESPN First Take. And I'm sitting there, and they're at where Tyler went to school.
Merchant Marine Academy.
And all of a sudden, Tyler pops up on the screen and is asking a question. I was like, that's freaking Tyler Washington. I pulled up my phone. I recorded it. It's definitely somewhere in my archive somewhere. Yeah. But I was just like, holy shit. I'm like, that's Tyler Washington. I know him.
That's
I went to high school with him.
Yeah, on First Take.
Yeah, on First Take with Stephen A. And
Stephen
I think Skip was still on at that time.
Yeah, but what was her name?
I know who you're talking about.
What was her name? Because
it's not Molly Karam. It wasn't Molly Karam at the time.
No.
I forget her name.
Yeah, she was an African American woman.
Yeah, yep. I'm gonna.
I forget. Yeah,
Carrie Champion.
Yeah,
Yes.
Carrie Champion. That's what it was. Yeah.
I remember watching that. I was like, oh, T-Wash.
That's exactly what I said in my head. I was like, yo, that's T-Wash. I know him. I went to high school with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you brought up seeing yourself on TV, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah.
And it made me remember seeing Tyler on TV for First Take, just asking. I don't even remember what the question was, but it was some question, probably football related or something during the time. But it was really funny to see him on there with Stephen A. Who he's a character himself.
That was cool. I mean, it's kind of cool to see yourself on TV, as opposed to 30 years ago when you don't know it's me doing any riding. You don't see me.
Right.
I'm just the guy doing
you're the
it.
stunt double.
Yeah,
at that
I'm the
time.
stunt guy. Yeah, but this time now you see me face. Oh wow! All right, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And HBO's like where it's at. Like people just do stream. We just do streaming. We don't do cable. It's like we do HBO, Hulu, and
I have
Netflix,
knockoff
and Disney, and that's it.
I have some knockoff cable that I get, but we're going to talk about
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yeah.
keep-
Shout out Tommy Canley for that one.
and that's it. Do you watch football still, or you
I don't watch any football.
none? No interest.
No interest.
Me neither. So it's just Paul.
I
Yeah.
really
It's just
don't
me.
watch any. I watch golf and I'll watch like some fishing or hunting shows, but you know, people ask me all the time, Coach Ryan, you don't even watch football. I don't. If I'm gonna spend time, like, I'd rather be at the golf course on Sunday than watching football. You know, if I can. But you know, in the winter, you know, then I ski. So
is that more like you'd rather just be out doing something? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't want to watch it because of X, Y, and Z. It's more just you'd rather be out doing
I'd
something.
rather be out
being
doing
active.
something. I'm not gonna sit at, you know.
Do you hunt?
Yeah,
yourself?
Absolutely.
That's okay. So I regret not playing football in high school, and then rest in peace, my grandfather too. He passed away when I was 12, but he was a big hunter. That was his passion,
yeah.
and I never went out with him. And I wish now in life I got into it. I feel like it's a great hobby to have.
It is.
What do you hunt?
I hunt deer. I hunt pheasant. I love the pheasant hunt.
Rifle and bow with deer?
I don't do bow anymore, but rifle. And I mean, I hunt not far from your house.
Columbia County, it's big hunting.
No,
area.
not there.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're back. Okay, Sam. Yeah. No
Yeah.
deer in our yards, man.
Yeah.
So just be careful going outside.
No,
you know?
it's farms. It's farms down there. Yeah, I have friends that have farms not far from you. Yeah, but I'm a big pheasant hunter. Matter of fact, I flew the boys up here. Well, Garrett was already in Newport, and I flew Tyler up here last year, and we went on a father-son's hunting trip. I tried to invite Nia, but she's like, Dad, I'm not shooting a bird. Okay, all right, honey. Doesn't matter. But trust me, Nia would, because I know my daughter. She'll do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, I like to hunt. I just like being out in the woods. But you know, when we grew up in Alabama, we hunted for food because we were very poor. So when my dad moved to upstate New York, got a job with the Bendix Corporation, he quit hunting. He said, I don't have to hunt anymore, but I don't mind if you do. But if you kill it, you're going to eat it. So
that was it growing up. You hunt? You eat what you got?
For survival, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And then it became something that.
Yeah, that I enjoy.
That you enjoy.
I
and it's a
enjoy it. I
hobby
like
and-
the skill. I like to hunt. I like to chase, and the tracking and the trying to outthink, because you're in that animal's backyard, so he can outsmell you. His eyes are better than yours, you know. So it'd be like somebody walking your house. You'd be like, okay, something's wrong, because you know it's your house. So it's the same there. So you got to be skilled. And, you know, and it's very rewarding. I mean, now, my wife tells me she doesn't want me to kill anything, which I get it. We're not broke. We don't need it for food. But I like the taste of wild
Yeah, I
meat,
think you
and
have.
it's better for you.
Yeah, we buy now from Sam. What's the name of the farm we've been buying from in Burnt Hills, right? From Buckley. It's
from Buckley's, yeah.
From Buckley's, yeah. That's where we get all our meat now.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
Which is great, and like the next level is hunting it yourself.
Yeah, hunting yourself, and
having
you
that.
know, there's no antibiotics in it.
It's way better
Nothing
quality.
bad for it. Sure, it is.
I mean,
Absolutely.
growing up, we had Taters Butcher Shop. Like,
Oh yeah, Tater Butcher Shop.
They,
Absolutely.
They were. I remember going, especially during like deer season. They were always had people coming there.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you get, you know, you're just
Mike
getting
Tater.
Yeah, you're just getting the best quality that you can get.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. You know, the old ways are the best. You know, old ways of training, old ways technique. Old ways
Yeah,
are the
there
best.
is something about that.
It is, man. I'm telling you.
I think we're in a weird time where, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, this is post-COVID. The whole world's fucking crazy right
yeah.
now. But yeah, filtering through, like, yeah, man, some old ways are definitely the way
they
to
are.
go.
But like, I like the TRX. I'm a big fan. When TRX first came out, I'm like, oh yeah, I love TRX.
Right. It's like you got to figure out a way to mold the new school with the old school.
Sure,
you know?
absolutely.
And I think when you look at certain, I like to look at college coaches a lot of times for that. You know, you look at Nick Saban.
Yeah,
Nick Saban been successful because he knows how to mold the new school with the old school.
Right.
He knows how to be like, okay, like I'm going to be a hard ass, but at the same time, like I understand how.
I understand you're a product of your environment. I know what you're used to.
Right.
So work with me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, let me. I can't push you
and
too
you
much.
can see it though with the guys that make it. You know, obviously even probably the guys that don't make it to the NFL. But like when guys in the NFL talk about Nick Saban, you never hear them say a bad thing.
No.
Ever. It's always good things about him, about how he wants the best for them. Even when you see someone like Greg McElroy, who made it to the NFL but didn't really have a great career.
Right.
He's now on ESPN. You know, he's only ever said good things about Nick Saban.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it goes to show you can be an old school coach with a new school mentality.
Yeah, you can.
And
Sure can.
you gotta blend it all, whether it's in here, on the field, whatever it is.
Is there a big difference in how you feel like you need to communicate with kids now versus back in the day when we played? Or no? Do you feel like you're
Yes. Okay. I don't want to incriminate myself. So I'm an old school coach, okay? Nowadays, you can't say things to kids that you used to could say, you know? And it's just not politically correct
Right.
anymore. A lot of times you lose your job for it. You know, not that I ever cursed at anybody anyway, you know, because you guys were little. But I've certainly said a few choice words to kids in high school, you know, get off your ass, you know,
Right.
come on, you're not freaking moving, you
Right.
know, slacking. Yeah, you just can't do that anymore. You just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's like I've said before that I feel like kids do have a better emotional IQ or just like tolerance
Awareness.
to awareness to bullshit. Because there's coaches who will just yell to yell and their intentions aren't good.
Right, right.
There's no
Yeah.
purpose to what they're
Yeah.
doing. They're just yelling because
Yeah.
that's all they know.
Because that's all they know.
Right.
That's what they
But,
do.
yeah,
that's
yelling's not
no
good.
good. But
Yelling's no good. You don't get anywhere yelling.
Well, and
Not at all.
you were talking earlier, this is way earlier in the episode, but about how when, you know, Coach Washington would talk to us and we paid attention.
yeah,
And it reminded me of when we went to that Burnt Hills basketball game.
yeah,
And we watched the Burnt Hills coach talking to all the girls, and only 5 girls pretty much played.
Yeah.
Every girl on that team was looking at him,
Yep.
was paying attention to what he had to say, and you could tell that he did the right things off of the court and in
by
practice
all of them. 'Cause
by
you are a
all
team.
of them.
That's right.
And even one of the girls told us like that because the refs were not very good that game, and it was the
Right.
most they had ever seen him yell in a game
Yeah.
ever, and for a good reason. You know, he was defending his girls in the game, but it's very interesting to see that, and then you see some other times you'll see half the players are looking at the coach, half the players are looking off into the distance or having a conversation with their teammate on the side, and it's like, do you care? Are you paying attention? You know, that kind of stuff. And, seeing that and understanding, yelling isn't the way to go necessarily.
No.
There's a time and place to I guess, raise your voice or be
Yeah,
more,
if you're
or
motivating,
speak with more
being
conviction.
excited,
But, like, you don't
yelling
be
at somebody.
Putting somebody down
No.
by yelling at them is never going to get the best out of
Never
them.
gonna get it. Never.
And I think that's, again, going back to what I said about being able to blend old school and new school. I think you've clearly shown in the fact that you've been at LaSalle as long as you have and been a coach as long as you have, you've shown that you've been able to go, okay, I wasn't an old school coach. I grew up in this era, but now I've been able to adjust, and you still have impacts on every kid that you're helping. And that speaks volumes to who you are as a coach, as a person, and everything. And I appreciate you for teaching me a lot of lessons when I was younger.
I appreciate it.
You know,
That right there means a lot, right there. Which is why
I think just to
we
do
what we
this is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I love.
Absolutely.
Are there female sports now at LaSalle? Or
Yeah.
no?
Oh, all of them. Absolutely. Volleyball, softball, golf. Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, that's great. man.
Yeah.
I can't wait for girls football to spread through all out New York State.
Is that gonna be a thing?
It is.
You think so?
They started it this year. Will be the first year.
Wow.
Girls
Oh yeah,
flag.
Rob Zayas. We had Rob Zayas,
Yep.
the director of New York Public
Yeah.
High School.
Yeah.
So
he did say that.
Girls football, flag football is starting. It's a spring sport. Starting in Western New York
Okay.
and all the sections out there, and then like Long Island area.
Okay.
Like Southern New York, and then
Good for them.
The thing that I love about it, my niece recently had a new love for football because she was throwing a football to me, and she's throwing a perfect spiral.
Oh, my gosh.
15 yards. She's 11
Oh,
years
God.
old. I'm like,
Wow.
listen, don't get me started right now. This is my passion.
Yeah.
And she's an athlete. Just plays soccer, she plays basketball. And she's talking to my sister about playing football. And my sister's like, well, it's during the fall. I was like, fun fact, girls football, if it comes around Ravina when she's in high school, will be in the spring. So
Yeah.
if she wants to play, she can.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that because I love watching girls basketball.
Yeah.
I love watched a lot of college softball this year. It's cool to be able to see the different, girls sports was never popular to watch on TV when we were growing up.
Right.
And I love to see it on TV. I love watching Sabrina and Yosku from New York Liberty.
Yeah.
And then it gives me a chance to connect with some of our female athletes on a better level
Sure.
too. So that's why I pay attention a lot to that stuff. Diana Taurasi's my girl. Love Diana Taurasi. So but it's cool to see would you coach girls football if it came to LaSalle?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see you doing it.
Definitely.
I could see
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
doing it and being very successful with that.
Yeah, probably. You know, I would probably do that.
We had girls that played Pop Warner back in the day with us.
Yeah,
You
we
remember
did.
that?
Yeah, we
Fuck
did.
yeah.
Hey, Brianna.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bree was the fastest thing on the field.
Yeah,
Remember her?
Yeah.
Oh my
She
God.
made us look slow.
Oh my God. She was
Yeah,
lightning
you're probably like
fast.
Mike. You can play backup quarterback, but that defense because Brianna's out there.
She was fast. Oh my God. Oh, never forget that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was the first girl I ever coached. Was
No
Brianna.
shit. That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah. Bree. My gosh, was she fast.
Yeah, man.
Now she just had her fourth child.
Yeah.
Good for her.
That's right there just leads back to how connected you are with a small community.
Yeah.
Is like you know that about her.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Well,
like and
she was out to the house one day, right? And then the time that Nia was in the town, let's say a year ago, she brings me the sweater. Bree brought me a sweater, said, "Give this to your dad." And it touched me, man. I started crying. I was like, wow. You know? I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Sent me a sweater. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That blew me away, you know? You never know what difference you might make or impact you make on somebody. Just never know until years later.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like us at the novice party, man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I
It
know.
was great. I remember I texted Dave right after. He's like, I was just with him at McMahon's. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
McMahon's, dude. Yeah.
I know. No, Chris. Yeah. All right.
It's good, man. But it's all good people, man.
Yeah.
I think back and we're fortunate, man, to
We
just
are blessed.
grow up around this good group. I think about all of our like just male figures, Paul. Like we got Gerald here and my dad and Niles and Rusty, and it's just like,
you got
dude,
Stelz, Brantley, Thorson.
Yeah, Brantley.
The list goes
Yes.
on, and like it's, and you know you say Brantley, and like Brantley's been so successful as a coach. He's the athletic director there now. It's like these guys had such an impact on our lives, and it's great to see that.
I
you know?
coached Brantley in high school. I remember him because he was at Hudson.
Yes.
Well, I remember watching
Yeah.
him against
Yeah.
Ryan.
those were
Legier.
crazy. It was him and Barksdale. Those were crazy teams, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't coach their football team. I coached those guys on a basketball team, and they were playing not the Globetrotters, but one of those types of team. And I was coaching, and I had Brantley and Barksdale, and I was like, oh my God.
Brantley could shoot the J, man. He had a jump shot.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on one day. We could do some talking. He's a Cortland guy like you.
Definitely could do some talking with Brantley.
So Brantley's the AD at
He, as far as
yeah,
I know,
I think he is
Uh,
I think
now
he still
still.
is.
At
Chatham.
really?
Yeah.
So Stelt's not there no more?
He's still there. He's a phys ed and baseball coach.
We
Okay.
got ready. We got Stelz on next week.
Is it
Next
next
Friday.
week?
Stelzy will be sitting right
Stelzy
there.
will be sitting right
Shout
there.
out my say
Stelzy.
hello, Stelzy,
Yeah,
man.
so we'll learn, man. But yeah,
Okay.
no, Paul, we were fortunate just with the good male role models we had
Yeah.
growing up, man.
For sure.
So
Likewise.
all good, man. No, I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Hey,
This
thank
is-
you for the invite. It's great seeing you guys.
This is so much
man.
fun.
Seeing
And
everybody.
I was very happy when Mike said that we were having you on. I was like, this will be a good one. This will be fun.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you for coming
Highlight
on.
of my day, guys.
yeah, hopefully the LaSalle boys enjoy it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Everybody will. And yeah, man, it's just important. Surround yourself with good people growing up.
It is.
And,
It is. Yeah.
And that'll take you somewhere, whether it's immediate or that return on the investment is probably way later in life. But
Amen.
it's important. So, yeah, man. Thanks, Gerald.
Absolutely.
You're the
Thank
best.
you,
I
guys.
appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. We'll pick up next time. Thank you.